What's up, guys? Time to show off a cool build that's been, I don't know, months in the making. Lots of trials, trying to get this thing just right. But surprise build for one of the supporters via his wife. For his light company. So we did a Christmas light build. So everything on it, stainless steel, brushed stainless steel. We did a laser engraved steel dial and then lasered out the light bulbs throughout so that we could backside loom. Initially we were just doing tiny holes and lasering out the bulbs so we could paint fill, and we weren't lasering them deep enough. We couldn't get paint to stay in, or at least keep the proper color after you would sand them. So ended up going with lasering fully out. Did just a couple different colors, and then did that on a matching insert. And at any point you will see direction that you turn that you're going to have your 3, 6, 9, 12 the same. So wife did an awesome job of backside loom painting these. So with this, you've got your brushed case, you've got a small coin bezel that is on there super tight, which is great. You get your lasered steel dial, your lasered steel insert, backside loomed, so each one of these are actually cut out all the way through, cut all the way through. And then on the bezel insert, she went back in and did some like resin over top of them to just, you know, make sure any kind of water that would come on them wouldn't affect anything out here. Custom engraved crown, silver handset, brushed engineered band, stainless steel. Actually, no, I just did a red movement holder. I was thinking Christmas in my head, so I was like, oh, red would be okay. Thing is, you don't really see it unless you get an extreme angle in there. Low profile exhibition caseback. You get a little signed rotor in there, a little signed BVW here, and that is the build. So just for reference on the loom, so you got some green in there, you got some blue in there, and you got some orange in there. I think it came out pretty awesome. As you saw, the bezel will turn left, it'll turn right. It is on there super tight, which I really love these bezels. I need more of these. Automatic mechanical, just like all the other builds, but just for reference, back the crown off the threads. If you hear it and feel it clicking, at that point you can wind. And a wind is a turn this way. Turning it towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and go back and forth. That mixed with your rotor movement should keep your time throughout the day. You just want to do that a little bit before you put it on to make sure you don't have any, because if you're not constantly moving, you're not constantly keeping it running. So build up a little bit in there, put a little bit of gas in there before you just start moving around. If you do that for another 10 seconds or so, you'll max out your 31-hour power reserve. You can't overwind it, so don't worry about that. When you're good with the winding, you're going to pull it to the 1 and only click. And at that point, you can now set your time. Does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You'll also notice a wobble crown in there that deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So while pushing and prying, you're not putting any adverse pressures on anything. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 12:27 p.m.
12:27 p.m. At one point we had these lasered out too, but it ended up being way too busy. So those are just now marked. So your larger circles are obviously your 5, 10, 15, 20. Your smaller markings are your minutes. As with every build, you're going to get matching beads, and the wife was able to grab some of the loom beads. So you've got your silver that matches, and then you've got some like cream or milky looking beads. And then, is there a way to hold this? There should be a way to hold this. Man, not really. Maybe low. Maybe low. There we go. So, lume beads with that. Silver BVW Special Edition box. This is coming with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts. It's a foamer. So, this watch as a whole. Non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, as well as a microfiber. And then, some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon. Just repackaged. It's essentially poly watch. It's for your acrylic domed glass, as you can scratch it. But if you do, you'll put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using your color matching and included microfiber. And if you get a scratch, just go up and down on the scratch, fill in the scratch, haze the scratch out, buff it out. And if it's still there, wait a little bit, let it solidify, and then revisit it to continue to build that acrylic back up. If you nick the brush, just use the green side of a Scotch-Brite and brush it back in. These are straight up and down. These are at an angle. Just do single passes. Don't go back and forth. You'll put lines in that you don't want. Just do brush them at an angle. On the sides, it's flat. On the clasp, it's flat. And that's it. That's the build. Hope you love it, Brett. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, Jen, so much for reaching out. And if you want me to build you guys something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe because I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.